Welcome back to the Trucking and Inspiration channel. I was sitting here thinking on the drive up here. I'm at a receiver up here about to deliver in the morning. This is Sunday night, the night before Thanksgiving, Sunday before Thanksgiving. And a lot of stuff was running through my mind. I left home, I drove up to work, I got in my big truck and come over here. And a lot of negative stuff was running through my head. I was thinking about all the mistakes that I had made in life, really kind of beating myself up inside. And it just clicked in my head, this is Thanksgiving. You should be giving thanks to all the good stuff and not concentrate on the bad. And I think a lot of us get stuck in that. We get to reminiscing, we get to thinking about all of the bad stuff, and we concentrate on that. And we're constant, chronic pessimist, beating ourselves up, for stuff that we should have done better or we could have done better. You know, as long as we don't give up, we have a chance at doing better tomorrow and doing better next week and next month and next year. And I have been tossing this idea around in my head about what I should do. About a year and a half ago, I parked my semi truck that I own, my owner operator truck, and I had the best truck driving job than I could ever have imagined. It was a dream job. I booked my own loads. I picked when I left and when I come home, and I could just sit and look down the list and pick loads that I wanted. There was even one time when I was coming home from Missouri. I had had enough. I'd had a long week. I was coming home. A broker called me, and it was a load that I could have picked up and went home with and delivered Monday that put another $1,700 on top of a really good week that I'd already had. And I turned it down and I said, I don't want it. I want to go home. And the broker said, come on, man, we've worked together for so much and so many times. I really need to cover this load. It would mean so much to me. And you can pick it up on the way home. You don't even have to go out a route. Just grab it and go and deliver it Monday. It's just an easy $1,700 for you. And I turned the load down anyway. I said, no, man, let me catch you Monday with something else. And I just want to go home. I sit here and think that is more money on that one easy load on top of what I would have made that week. Just that one load would be better than what I do as a company driver all week. And I get to thinking about stuff like that, and I run myself down and I beat myself up about it. And I think about dumb decisions like that. And this life for me has just been a roller coaster of ups and downs and, bad decisions. But instead of concentrating so much on the bad, I need to think about the good. I've got a good job. Maybe it doesn't pay the best, but it's very consistent. I'm home every weekend. I've got a good house. We've got good pets. I'm in a good marriage. We care about each other. We help each other out. 25 years in trucking, I'm still in good shape. I'm still able to work. I don't have major issues that's going to throw me out of trucking anytime soon. Hopefully, fingers crossed. There's so much upside that I just tend to forget and look over. I'm I have been doing some really hard thinking, and I used to do stocks, and I've been talking about this a lot. If you watch this channel, I put a lot of stock information up just talking about trucking companies and corporations and all this stuff. I'll put up information about stocks and everything. And I was sitting home the other day. I went and logged into my old stock market account. I hadn't even touched that account since probably 2007, 2008, something like that. And it had went into hibernation. They had not really locked me out of the account. I could log back in, but I couldn't do anything with it. It was just, in standby mode or something. And I called them and talked to them about it and everything, and they were like, this account hasn't been activated in a very long time. And finally, after some discussion, we got it going again. It came back to life, and everything came, unlocked on it and stuff. And there was a really bad stock buy that I had made on there, and that company was out of business. I mean, that money is just frozen indefinitely in there. I can never get that money back out. The company is just kaput, gone. And there was $9.55 of available cash that I had just left in there when I walked away from stocks, and I just left it in there. And that had been sitting in there all these years. And I was thinking, huh, wow, I still have money in my account. It's not much, $9.55, but hey, it's there. And I started going back into my old routine of how I used to look up stocks and find ones and everything. And then I read a comment from, I was going back through my comments on this channel, and I looked at a comment from a subscriber, George, and he said that people are scared. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said, I think a lot of people are scared going into stocks because of what's going on. And I can see that. I can totally see where he's coming from with that. There's something I want you to know about the stock market. If the stock market is just really going down and is just really caving hard and it's just on a downward slope, there's going to be stocks out there that are going up. There are. You could look through 200 stocks, and every one of them is on a downtrend, a downtrend, a downtrend. And it's just one after another, after another, after another. And then you come across that one that's going up. We can look at our life, we can look at what we do as a failure, or we can think about the good stuff. We can look at the glass half full or the glass half empty. To me, I've been thinking about an old saying: a quitter never wins and a winner never quits. I walked away from the stock market and I just left it. And the stock market account just went into hibernation. But in the back of my mind, I never really quit. I just pushed the pause button. And the stock market account that I had, the brokerage account, never gave up either. They just left it sitting right there where I left it, and it's back going again. And I have made some dumb decisions with stocks. I have made dumb decisions with life. But I've also made some good decisions with stocks, and I've made some good decisions with life. And I think I have matured since I left that stock market the way it was, that brokerage account, rather. I think I've matured. And I think I have a game plan. And I think it's time for me to pick up where I left off, to pick myself up where I left off. Yes, my owner-operator truck is sitting in the driveway parked, but I have this job, and I haven't give up yet. And you shouldn't either. If you're thinking that this is just the end-all of end-alls, and nothing is ever going to get better, it's the best it's ever been, and it will never be the same again, it will just continue on getting worse from here. I say, come along with me, because most of my videos, I think, after I take this Thanksgiving break and I come back from it, this is only going to be like a 3-day week for me. So this is probably the last video I'll put out before Thanksgiving. I don't know. We'll see. But probably it will be. But I'm going to really start getting into this, doing my research, understanding more about stocks than I even knew before. I've got to brush a lot of the cobwebs off and remember, stuff that I had forgot. It's still there, but I've got to pull it back out of the memory bank, And I've got a notebook, and I've been writing down notes and trying to remember stuff and learning and everything, and it's clicking back. It's coming back. It's getting warmed up, and I'm thinking, more about the stuff that I used to do. The thing I need to concentrate on is the positives, and forget about the negatives that used to happen whenever I was doing that. I'm smart enough, I think, that I can make a go with it again. Now, am I going to make $100 turn into $10 million? Probably not. Now, that was the mindset that I had back then, though. I was really ambitious, really gung-ho about it. And I was wanting to just go in there and just tear the stock market up. And I had a full-fledged day trading account. A margin account. Never do a margin account. Don't ever do that. I'll explain to you what that is if you don't know in a later video when we start getting into this. But here's the thing. Just like, when I left that $1,700 from that broker when I was an owner-operator, and I just dropped it, and I left and went on home. I don't want to be thinking like I used to think before. I don't want to be so full of myself that I took stuff for granted. Because whenever you get in that mindset and stuff starts falling down, the way I am, I start beating myself up, about, well, I should have done this, and why didn't I do it this way? That's why you never forget about history. All these people tearing down statues and destroying stuff and everything, and that brings up bad memories, and get rid of that, because I don't ever want to think about that again. There's another saying about that: if you erase history and you forget about history and you don't learn from your mistakes, you're bound to repeat those same ones. So I'm going to have to be a stronger person mentally, and I'm going to have to overcome myself, and I'm going to have to sit there and think about this, even though it's hard to think about your mistakes. You can't forget them. You've got to build on your mistakes. That's what you have to do. You have to build on your mistakes, and you have to remember that thing that hurt. You have to remember that thing, but not get depressed about it and not beat yourself up about it. Just say, yeah, I remember that. That was a dumb decision. But you know what? I don't have to do that same dumb decision twice. I did it once, but I don't have to do it twice. I really think that I'm going to get back into this. I think I'm going to get back into the buying and selling of stocks and do this truck driving job and do the YouTube channel. Why not just pile it all on, It's not like I've got any extra time anyway, right? So I think I'm going to do that. And I would like for you to come along with me. I'm not just going to do it just for me. There's a lot of people and a lot of websites and a lot of stuff out here that they want you to pay them. Pay us and we'll teach you how to do this. Pay us and we'll teach you how to get rich in the stock market. I'm going to do it just like I do everything else. I'm just going to tell you the truth. This is the way it is, not some fabricated lie to make it look good to where you pay me a subscription to do it. All I want you to do is subscribe to the channel and give me some views. And I will give back to you what I know about stocks. I'll tell you my mistakes. I'll tell you the mistakes that I made. I'll tell you what is good and what is bad, what you should look out for and what will bite you, and what you can make money with. And I'll be right there doing it. And I really think sometime between now and the first of the year, I should have all of these stock videos wrapped up. I'm not going to go just totally in depth with it. I mean, nobody can. It's like trucking. Trucking. The old guys, we called them hands back then. I don't know why we call them hands, but we did. An old trucker hand. An old truck driver. They used to tell me a long time ago, you'll never learn everything about truck driving. It's impossible. It's impossible. You can't learn everything. But here's what I do know. And they would tell you that, and they would help you out and guide you along. It was up to you what you wanted to do with that information. I made the mistake in stocks because people were telling me whenever I was in that forum, in that chat room, they were teaching me, I was learning from them, and we were bouncing ideas off of one another. And it was the same thing. You'll never learn everything about the stock market. It's impossible. I mean, you could write an entire bookshelf full of encyclopedias about everything about the stock market. So I can't tell you everything because I don't know everything. But I know my mistakes that I've made. But I do remember the good that I did too. We just have to concentrate on that good. And I think between doing this truck driving job and doing the best I can with it, doing YouTube and doing the best I can with it, and doing stocks, doing the best thing I can do with that, I think this is where it all begins. YouTube has totally changed me. I watch other YouTube videos and other YouTube channels, and I learn from them. And I think people learn from this. And we're all in this together. You know, I used to work for a trucking company, and they had a saying there, and it was just, I don't know what it meant, but they would say this, and it was like maybe an old military thing, that a lot of those guys that worked there were ex-military. They were older owner-operators, been in the business since the 60s and the 70s. And they would say, like an inspiration to one another, we started this together, and we're going to finish this together. And it wouldn't even really mean anything. They would just get on the CB and say it. And everybody was like, yep, we're in it together. I don't know what that really meant, but I would just go along with it. I don't even know if they knew what it meant. They were just saying it just to be saying it. But I would appreciate you guys being here with me. I would appreciate the input. If you see me doing this stock thing or doing trucking or whatever I'm doing, if you see that I'm doing something wrong, say, hey, you misspoke or you said something wrong here. But if we do stuff right, let's do stuff right together too. I'm not going to charge for any of this. And like I said, there's a lot of stuff out there that will just charge you. I mean, you can go into full-blown classes about stocks and the stock market and how to make money on it and, so much stuff. I learned it through the School of Hard Knocks. I've made mistakes and I've made, gains on stocks. I'm just going to have to slow down my process because before, like I said, I was real conceited and real self-centered, and I really thought that I was just going to just get in there and make $10 million right off the bat. And it didn't work, and I got disgusted, and I closed it up, and I walked away from it. But like I said, I think I've matured since then. And I think I understand more about how to be aggressive but be cautious at the same time. We're just getting started with this. Where it takes us, I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know where it's going to take us. But I say that we can do it, and I know we can do it. We just got to get in there and do it. And that's what I'm going to keep telling myself throughout this whole process. We can do it. We just got to get in there and do it. And it'll be a great passive income. Hey, if it works, it's going to be a great passive income. You know, it's not like we as truck drivers can go out and get a second job. I mean, it doesn't work like that, you know. So, who doesn't want more money? I mean, there's going to be risk. There are going to be risks to it, but I think we can do it. I think we're smart enough. We're not just dumb steering wheel holders. We can do this. So, I'm going to start doing my research, and I'm going to start getting into these stocks and doing my due diligence and remembering the stuff that, you know, maybe I'd forgot. And like I said, I've got my notebook. I've got it all written down. I'm keeping notes for myself. And I'm going to start sharing this. Hopefully, you'll be interested in it. I know it's a little change of pace from regular trucking and politics videos, but I think we're going to do it. I think I'm just going to put myself out there and we're going to do it. And I'll mix in some trucking and politic videos along the way too. A subscriber asked me to do a video about where to lease on older trucks. Don't really know that warrants a whole video. That's just listing some companies. There are some out there. I know of a few. And maybe I'll think of a way to do a video about that. It's not really warranted for an entire video, though. I mean, that's more of a question than a video. I mean, I would just have to do some research. You can do it yourself. Just start calling companies and talking to people. Two that come off of the top of my head is Landstar and F2F out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Those two, I'm almost certain, will take older trucks. Now, will they take a 78 model K100 cab over? I don't know about that. I don't know of any company that would take that truck. Maybe, you know, you just have to call them and talk to them. I mean, if you're talking 80s and 90s trucks, I believe Landstar and F2F would both take those trucks as long as they're DOT compliant, as long as they pass. I think they should. But you know, I'm not just a one dimensional channel here. It was something Scott brought up. If you guys don't know Scott, he's a subscriber and a commenter to this channel, and he and I have become friends. We talk a lot. And he said, I don't like a channel that every video is just the same thing. It's like a repeat of the same thing over and over. You watch one video and you've watched every video on that channel. And he said, I don't really like that. And I'm not like that either, you know. And this whole thing about talking about stocks might be a big fiasco, and it might just turn all the subscribers away, and they just say, I don't care about that. I'm here to talk about trucking and politics, not stocks. But I asked the question last video, and a couple of people commented and said that they would be interested in it. So I'm going to try. And even if you don't want to come along and it's not something that interests you, I still think I'm going to do it for myself anyway. So we'll try a few videos out with stocks and learning what to do and what to not do and how to go about it, and we'll see where it goes. Who knows? But anyway, I just wanted to do this video, put it out. Like I said, this is the Sunday before Thanksgiving, And we have a lot to be thankful for. It's been a rough 3.5, 4 years. It's been rough. A lot of companies have filed for bankruptcy. A lot of trucking companies have shut down. It's just been an avalanche the last 3 or 4 years. And who knows what 2025 is going to bring? Who knows what the next 4 years are going to bring? A lot of people are jumping in and saying this is the start of a totally different direction for the United States of America. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to be. I'm hopeful, but if it's a big turnaround like they're saying, the stock market is going to be booming. And with the knowledge that I've got and the experience that I've got and remembering my mistakes that I made, this could be the start of a boom for all of us, me and everyone else that wants to get involved in this. So that's why I'm doing it. That was the whole reason of doing this whole channel to begin with, is to give back what I have learned and talk about mistakes I've made. I'm good with talking about mistakes. I've made a bunch of them. Don't get to the point where we just sit there and beat ourselves up about it. Pick ourselves up and move on. That's my whole message about it. Got the stock market brokerage account rolling again. We've got $9.55 in there. Let's see where we go. Let's see where we go. Heck, by next year, we might have $9,000 in there. Who knows? So let's get going. And I would appreciate it if you would come along. So, with that being said, as always, you guys take care of yourself, take care of each other, and we'll catch you on the next one.